Oklahoma pledged millions to EV startup Canoo. But now the company is fighting work furloughs and supplier lawsuits. U.S.-based Canoo Inc. takes space Bicester Motion. Canoo shares drop as the EV maker files $100 million mixed shelf offering. Oklahoma pledged millions to EV startup Canoo. But now the company is fighting work furloughs and supplier lawsuits. As Canoo Incorporated faced collection lawsuits and warned investors it might not stay in business. Oklahoma gave the electric vehicle maker $1 million in cash incentives for jobs it created in the state. Oklahoma has also pushed back a deadline for Canoo to receive more incentive money, allowing the company more time to meet hiring goals. Canoo received its first $1 million incentive payment from Oklahoma after it announced it had created over 100 new jobs in the state in January. The money came from Oklahoma's Quick Action Closing Fund, a pot of money intended for the governor to recruit new employers to the state. Oklahoma's incentives are all performance-based, meaning companies only receive payments for jobs and investment they have already created in the state. A spokesperson for the Oklahoma Department of Commerce said, "Companies do not receive taxpayer dollars until they meet certain requirements, and safeguards are built into contracts that allow the state to claw back money if a company falls below its performance threshold," the agency said in a statement. It's unclear if recent worker furloughs at Canoo's Oklahoma City factory will require the company to repay any of the $1 million in state money. Strapped for cash, Canoo furloughed 30 Oklahoma City factory workers for 12 weeks at the end of October. The furloughs represent 23% of the company's factory workers, Canoo disclosed in a regulatory filing. Canoo's contract with the Oklahoma Department of Commerce requires the company to keep at least 80% of the workers it hired for a minimum of 18 months or face clawbacks. Department of Commerce officials recently toured Canoo's factory as part of a previously scheduled visit and have notified the company that it needs to meet the performance requirements in the contract, said Chase Horn, a spokesperson for the agency. Canoo did not respond to written questions about the furloughs or the status of its state incentives. The company is scheduled to report financial results for the third quarter of the year on Wednesday. The Department of Commerce gave the company more time to reach hiring goals to receive additional state incentive payments earlier this year. Canoo's 2023 Quick Action Closing Fund contract required the company to hire more than 350 people with an average annual wage of at least $60,512 by July 1st this year in order to get its next $2 million chunk of incentive money. But the company has been slow to ramp up production. The Department of Commerce signed a new deal with Canoo one day before the deadline, giving the company until July 2025 to meet the hiring goal for the incentives. It is the intention of the Oklahoma Department of Commerce to work with and support businesses to help find a means to success as a net benefit for the state and the company, a spokesperson for the Department of Commerce said about the revised incentive deal. It's the second time the Department of Commerce has reworked Canoo's Quick Action Closing Fund contract. Canoo was initially eligible for up to $15 million in Quick Action Closing Fund money, but the agency reduced the potential award to $7.5 million in 2023 after the company missed a deadline to start construction on a factory in Pryor. Canoo has also been hit with multiple collection lawsuits from vendors over the past year. The Frontier found 6 pending lawsuits filed against the company for past due bills in Oklahoma, California, and Michigan. 5 former employees told the Frontier that Canoo lacked parts to build vehicles because it didn't pay suppliers. Some workers didn't want to be named because they were concerned about future employment options, or said they had signed non-disclosure agreements with the company. Canoo warned investors that there was substantial doubt it would be able to continue operations in May 2022. Canoo CEO and Chairman Tony Aquila has been helping provide financing to keep the business going. The company secured a $12 million revolving line of credit with AFV Management Advisors LLC earlier this month, another company that Aquila runs. Along with millions in promised cash incentives, Oklahoma also awarded Canoo a contract to provide electric vehicles to state agencies in 2022. State agencies have purchased 3 vehicles so far for $39,950 apiece. The Office of Management and Enterprise Services uses its Canoo cargo van for maintenance operations at state office buildings around the Oklahoma Capitol. The agency has no current plans to purchase any additional Canoo vehicles, said Krista Helfrey, a spokesperson. Management and Enterprise Services said. The current cargo-style van, which only allows for 2 passengers, is proving to be resourceful for our current facilities management applications, but is somewhat limited for applications in other areas, Helfrey said in an email. A lack of charging stations has limited the use of the vehicles for 2 state agencies. The Oklahoma Department of Corrections initially used its Canoo to patrol the perimeter at a prison in Lexington. It provided a quiet ride and an excellent panoramic view for the officers patrolling the outside of our facility, Kay Thompson, a spokesperson for the Department of Corrections, said in an email. But the agency eventually moved the vehicle to its administration building in Oklahoma City due to a lack of charging ports at the prison. The Department of Corrections now uses the Canoo for an IT team to transport computers and other tech equipment around the metro area, but has no plans to purchase more vehicles, Thompson said. The Oklahoma Department of Transportation uses its Canoo for public outreach and planning activities within an appropriate radius from the ODOT central offices, Jared Schwenneson, multimodal division manager for the agency, said in an email. As we learn more about the vehicle's capabilities and range, we will be able to determine a suitable radius of operation around ODOT's headquarters to maximize the utilization of this zero-emission mode of transportation. Governor Kevin Stitt has been an outspoken supporter of providing Canoo with business incentives to create new jobs and diversify the state's economy. He praised the state's purchase of Canoo vehicles last year as a way to reduce government waste. As we find new efficiencies within the fleet, Canoo's new Oklahoma-made electric vehicles align perfectly with our fleet modernization goals, and I couldn't be more excited to see them on the roads, Stitt said in a December 2023 press release. Stitt's office did not respond to questions about Canoo's state incentives or vehicle contract. Even though Canoo has not yet turned a profit or started large-scale manufacturing, the company has said it plans to create more than 1,300 jobs in Oklahoma. The electric vehicle startup announced in 2023 that it had incentive deals with the state of Oklahoma and the Cherokee Nation worth more than a combined $110 million over the next decade. Oklahoma City has pledged another $1 million in job creation incentives, but $1 million from Oklahoma's Quick Action Closing Fund is the only state money the company has so far received. The Cherokee Nation and Oklahoma City both said they have not provided the company with any payments or other support. U.S.-based Canoo Inc. takes Bicester Motion. Canoo Inc. has selected Bicester Motion, the 444-acre future mobility estate in Bicester, Oxfordshire, as its UK commercial operations and activation center. Canoo was established in 2017 and has developed breakthrough electric vehicles with pioneering technologies, unique design, and business model that spans multiple owners across the full life cycle of a vehicle. Canoo has teams in California, Texas, Oklahoma, and Michigan and supplies large commercial fleets in the US, UK, and Middle East with both right-hand and left-hand drive products. Canoo has leased an office at Bicester Motion for its UK team in Building 108, which totals 486 square feet, 45 SQM, along with vehicle storage facilities in Histrid, the on-site managed car storage for historic, classic, and modern motor cars and motorcycles, and event activation services at the estate scramble events. Canoo has partnerships which include the U.S. Postal Service for the purchase of electric vehicles, the U.S. Department of Defense to provide a battery module for advanced testing, and Walmart for 4,500 electric delivery vehicles for last-mile deliveries. Canoo has also delivered crew transportation vehicles for NASA's Artemis missions. Canoo recently debuted its right-hand drive commercial vehicles, the 130 and 190 LDVs, and hosted and attended numerous fleet shows and customer test drives on tracks. The UK opening will enable the company to leverage the wide-ranging talent in surrounding Motorsport Valley and focus on the plug-in van grant PIVG to drive demand and reach the UK government's zero-emissions goals. Canoo has recently announced its partnership with the AA in the UK for premium roadside assistance services to commercial and government customers. Tony Aquila is an American businessman, investor, serial entrepreneur, and inventor associated with 100-plus patents in the automotive, aeronautics, and cybersecurity sectors, and also Canoo's investor, executive chairman, and CEO. Tony Aquila said, "Canoo's mission is to bring EVs to everyone. We have chosen Bicester Motion as an iconic automotive campus that reflects the company's spirit of innovation and commitment to sustainability." As a former World War II Royal Air Force base, the decision for Bicester Motion to be our UK center reflects the long-standing partnership with the United States and UK, a relationship built on shared values, economic collaboration, and mutual trust. Through our partnership, we aim to strengthen Canoo's UK presence while driving forward our mission of delivering sustainable mobility solutions globally. This move signifies a pivotal step in Canoo's global expansion, setting the stage for the company to introduce groundbreaking commercial electric vehicle EV solutions to the UK. Daniel Gogan, Chief Executive Officer, Bicester Motion, added, "We warmly welcome and relish the opportunity for technology pioneers to join our community to positively shape the future of mobility. Over the last decade, we have built a world-leading community for more than 50 disruptive mobility leaders, manufacturers, innovators, and change makers who have a shared passion to deliver the mobility solutions we need for tomorrow. Canoo shares our vision, and we are pleased to provide them with a dedicated center of excellence from which they can launch their UK operation and establish another international market, Bicester Motion. Bicester Motion will serve as Canoo's future operations, customer, and activation center to provide a dynamic base for its commercial efforts across the UK and Europe. Canoo shares drop as the EV maker files $100 million mixed shelf offering. Canoo has filed an S-3 registration statement on Tuesday for a $100 million mixed shelf offering, 3 weeks before publishing its second quarter financial results scheduled for August 14th. The registration statement from the electric vehicle EV maker covers the potential issuance of a range of securities, including common stock, preferred stock, debt securities, warrants, rights, and units. As of the time of writing, the company's stock is trading 4.5% lower at $2.025 per share. This move allows the company with the flexibility to choose the most advantageous financial instruments based on market conditions and selling them over time. The second quarter results, scheduled to be reported on August 14th, will be followed by a conference call as shareholders expect updates from the several pilot programs the company has been involved in. Last week, when contacted by EV, a Canoo spokesperson said the company produced 22 and delivered 9 vehicles as of the last earnings call, adding that the EV maker also delivered all 6 USPS vehicles until then. Last month, the CFO said the company is at the stage of production ramp. Etheridge said that Canoo will, over time, set up manufacturing in international locations besides its manufacturing plant in Oklahoma, United States. The conference call will be hosted by the Chief Executive Tony Aquila, the CFO Greg Etheridge, and Ramesh Murthy, Senior Vice President, Finance and Chief Accounting Officer. Never miss an update. On Monday, Canoo shares closed 6.52% lower at $2.15 per share after announcing a prepaid advance agreement with the investment firm Y2PN. The agreement allows the EV startup to request up to $100 million until July 19, 2026. The initial advance of $15 million will be offset by the issuance of shares priced at $2.70 each. The net proceeds of the initial advance are approximately $14.1 million after fees, according to the EV maker. Last week, Canoo announced that it issued substantial stock grants to 7 members of its board of directors as part of the company's 2020 Equity Incentive Plan, according to SEC Form 4 filings. The company's board of directors, including the lead independent director and 6 other directors, reported the acquisition of 92,765 restricted stock units (RSUs) each. These RSUs were granted as part of Canoo's annual equity awards to its directors and will fully vest on either July 15, 2025, or the company's 2025 annual meeting, as long as the directors remain in service.